This poem is dedicated to Frankie Muse Freeman, and it's called Exemplar World/Whirl of Frankie Freeman. In our cosmos of civil battle, she's a living muse, a meteor of truth and speed, even when legal runways are clogged by rust and anxious throngs chanting, freedom then, now, and tomorrow. Frankie's heroic example shines like Virginia coal, like St. Louis going to meeting Sundays.
I'm 92 years old and you're asking me something about what it was like 80 years ago.
Frankie Freeman has devoted a major part of her life to improving the civil rights of Americans.
Now, there are things that we know now, and as we got older, we did not see ourselves as victims.
I've been called up nights, weekends, whenever Frankie sees something that needs to be done, she lets people know. And when she says do something, we just all fall in line and do it.
I met Thurgood Marshall when I was a student at Howard Law School.
I don't think Frankie ever turns her back on any problem or ever gives up on anything.
When Thurgood and the other team would come to Washington to argue a case before the Supreme Courts, they would come over to the law school, and then a group of us, they would, try out their arguments.
Frankie Muse Freeman is exactly a living legend.
I had said all along that I was going to be a civil rights lawyer.
I'm one of the original members of the Martin Luther King Peace Movement here in St. Louis, Missouri, with Norman Say and Betty Thompson and quite a few others.
My focus was on constitutional law.
Frankie has forged ahead and opened a lot of doors and made life better for a lot of people.
We've been very confined with the issue of race. There also had been the issue of sex discrimination and omission of appointees for women. There were several murders. Churches had been burned, and so we held a hearing in Jackson in February of 1965. And at that hearing, the testimony from the witnesses and from the persons who themselves had been denied the right to vote. From that, we issued a report that included several recommendations. 3 of those recommendations became a part of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. You cannot have racial segregated neighborhoods and expect to make much progress. You have got to at least have equal opportunity in housing.
One of the things that she said to me that was a big surprise and very uplifting to me personally was, she said, remember that not only will Focus St. Louis broaden your thinking, but you will broaden theirs.
I'm a board member on the Zoo Museum District with Frankie Freeman, and it's certainly been an honor to work with her over the years. She's certainly a legend here in St. Louis in so many ways, giving back to the community for so long.
Frankie Freeman is a star in so many areas, and she's done a superb job as chairman of the Zoo Museum District, and she just continues to serve the community in the best sort of way.
There's a piece of Frankie Muse Freeman's life that speaks to you, that can help you get to that next stage.
Frankie is an inspiration to young and old.
She just is a remarkable person.